we understand ourselves as belonging to the land and caring for the land and want to be in reciprocal relationship with the land. I'm the president of the Center for Humans and Nature. We are a nonprofit organization that is devoted to exploring and promoting our responsibilities to each other and for the whole community of life. We have now 50 acres that we acquired. It's very difficult. I'm struggling with my language now because I don't want to say we bought it. I don't want to say we own it because that language doesn't feel right to me. So I'm struggling and hesitating. For me, not having a lawyer's mind, every part of the easement, every part of it felt sort of foreign and strange to me. One of the challenging things is that it is a document that is about human rights of two groups, the landowner and then the party that is granted the easement. So to the extent we were going to be talking about rights of these two parties, we wanted to make sure that the fundamental rights of nature were stated up front.
Part of what we suffer from is limitations in the language, and that is a limitation of putting things in writing and in a document because there's such a deeper level of relationship and commitment than often that we can even express there. And along with rights comes responsibilities, and it is relationship.
The thing about law is it's a system that seems to be founded on this idea that we can't trust each other. In fact, we have to control each other. We're going to create all these different systems to control each other. It's almost like the legal tools actively disrupt the loving, caring, cooperative instincts that we bring to this work to begin with. I have this core belief that we humans are designed to take care of each other and take care of land, that we can trust this whole web of life that we are embedded in. How far can we go with an easement to just make it as reflective of what our hearts desire?
I really wanted to work on language that acknowledged, we're working within this context of private property ownership, but the center is caring for the land. Throughout this multi-page document, the document kept referring to property, and I just couldn't. So I sort of thought okay, all right, what if I sent this email to Matt Ruhter, the head lawyer there, because I really was worried about this word property, and I really wanted the word to be land. I remember Matt took it really well, but he also kind of said, I really want to keep property. This is a legal term. I don't think we can do this.
I came in to Openlands and they had already done most of the hard work as far as negotiating the land transfer, having a template of the easement. We're having to use the very dry legalese language of contracts and annexation agreements and the law. And so there's a language use there. There's capturing and using that dry legalese language because it's representing the ideas that the judge knows and is familiar with. And so I push back on all of the ideas and new concepts.
We have such a beautiful spectrum of what is common in the legal world and what we're kind of dealing with and navigating and kind of what a court is and what that means, and all the way to just kind of this potential disintegration of some of these concepts and developing entirely new paradigms. I really went through the document and highlighted places where there could be that expression, because what a document is really just you're putting down your intentions, but it doesn't mean anything unless you do that self-work to go through the process of understanding the land and developing a relationship with it, developing a relationship with the other humans who have stewarded that land for since time immemorial.
Fortunately, they were very convincing, and they did reassure me that we can have both. We can have a legally defensible easement. At the same time, we can bring in language that incorporates the new ideas that the law really does need to start recognizing. As stewards, we have a responsibility to care, and it's long term. So we have to consider those factors that will be 10, 15, 20, 100 years in the future. What's native? What habitat types will we have in 100 years in the face of climate change?
If a court ever has to interpret an easement, the standard of interpretation should not be that of the so-called reasonable man. It should be something to the effect of a loving and nurturing mother, because that is how we are trying to relate to this land.
Land, to me, I feel like a calling of a sense of equity, of care, of recognizing the imbalance that we have, having a sense of responsibility and seeing the rippling effects of our actions and what we do and what we're consuming from the natural world. There's so much consumption and so little giving back.
To me, it's relationship. It's not ownership. May not even be stewardship, which sometimes in my mind implies sort of coming down from above, but a relationship that's reciprocal, where there is giving and receiving and care, mistakes, forgiveness, repair.